Hello, my name is Dr. Anna Maria Mihalcha, and I am so excited today to welcome Dr. Giannina Hagima from Romania, who's been a wonderful colleague, and I have repeatedly posted her research on my Substack. And the reason why this is such an important discussion today is because she's done some in-depth analysis of the COVID bioweapons. And I think it's very important that we see this new evidence. Welcome, Dr. Hagima. It is so wonderful to see you.
Hello, nice to meet you. It's a very important moment for me. Yes, and I hope we'll find the truth together.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, you've done some amazing research also on rainwater and the metal compositions there. So you've also looked into the geoengineering aspect of this, which I think is very, very fascinating, because to understand how the metals are kind of interacting with the body and how they are part of this larger scope is very, very important. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, what was your journey? How come you started looking at these things?
Yes, I'm a gynecologist, and I have a private in Pitești, near 100 kilometers from Bucharest. I saw the gross medical fraud in all this pandemic, and that I thought that it is a duty for doctors to speak. I used to read medical articles in English, and it was not so hard for me to get access to European Medicine Agency and documents. And I saw that what officials said about disease, about these vaccines is not what it was written in European Medicine Agency as an example. If someone is interested to read these documents, they can see that it was in December 2020 when it was decided to inject all people with these vaccines. There was a period of study, only 1.5 months. The people in the study were followed up only 1.5 months, and they said these vaccines are safe and effective. And it was evaluated only relative risk, not absolute risk, and they got a conclusion about mild form of disease, mild and moderate form of disease, not for severe COVID. And there are a lot of things to say, but I don't know if we have here the time to discuss. There are a lot of things to discuss about this. I saw this gross medical fraud. I tried to obtain some answers from the authorities. I sent them some petition with bibliography, but they didn't respond. I didn't get a response from them, and this confirmed me that it is something wrong in all this situation.
Yes, and then you also did microscopy, which is exactly what we did as well in our group with Dr. David Nixon. And then, I did live blood analysis, and you did microscopy of the vaccine vials and multiple different, just like I had done the microscopy of the childhood vaccines. And you also saw similar self-assembling technology and all kinds of blinking lights that we call, quantum dot type technology. So that was also a very interesting aspect of your journey.
Yes, I started to do this late. I was not against vaccines until 2020. I vaccinated my children, but now I have a lot of question about these vaccines. Especially, I saw the behavior of these particles under the microscope, and because I saw this gross fraud of COVID vaccine, I think we have to reevaluate everything, and to be suspicious, and to ask questions, and to alert people around us about what is happening with this situation. Yes.
I agree, and I see it the same way, because I've also looked at many different medications, including insulin, and we've looked at dental anesthetics, and at this point I don't trust anything that comes from the medical system, because literally I believe that we've been lied to for a long time. But you have also a presentation about your newest findings, which I find very, very valuable. I do believe that your research will have significant effect also, for example, for possible legal actions internationally. And I really want you to maybe share your screen and tell us a little bit about the mass spectroscopy, the EDX that you've done. And if you want to do the presentation view, so we can see the entire slide, that would be good.
Yes, I'll try, but I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
That's fine. That's fine. So
okay. Yes, it's okay. Yes.
I don't remember a Romanian quite as good to what the word for slideshow is.
Yes. I did an optical microscopy for Moderna and Comirnaty Omicron, but I also wanted to have a microscopic electron microscopy on these vials, and I found a researcher who did this because I think if we try, we can find people, the right people, to help us to find the truth. Yes.
It's challenging, but yes. So go ahead and show us a little bit. What did you find, and what type of study? So you did electron microscopy.
Yes, electron microscopy, energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy, and I observed the atomic composition of these vials. We know that this should contain RNA, And here we can see the molecules of RNA, and it should be a lot of nitrogen in this composition.
So right now I can just see your first slide. So if you go to the second slide, go ahead and see if you can advance the slides.
This is the second slide. It's okay. You can see.
No, I'm not able to see it, unfortunately.
Okay.
If
I
there,
will stop.
Yes, okay.
I
Stop.
don't know. Yes.
So if there's a slideshow button, then you would be able to show your slides. So that is a very interesting, yes, I can see Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine, and now it's the full slide. So go ahead.
Yes, yes. This is the composition of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, and we see we should find RNA and RNA molecules and other molecules with nitrogen, phosphorus.
And
these are
on the back, the ALC0315 and ALC159. So those are the lipid nanoparticles. These are hydrogels, and they are the encapsulation supposedly for the mRNA. Go ahead.
Yes, this is nanotechnology in these vials, and they were not used for humans anymore until now. They were not used for humans until now. These are the composition of these nanoparticles. And here is the electron microscopy with energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy. And we can see that the atomic composition in these areas is carbon, oxygen, and silicon. Nickel is not is from support grid. It's not from the composition of these vials. We can see in the right corner the composition is carbon, oxygen, and silicon.
And the reason why this is so significant is because, as you were showing earlier, so molecules of life like RNA contain nitrogen and phosphorus. So what you're showing, again, exactly like other researchers have shown, is that there is no molecule of life in the Comirnaty, this particular vial. This is very outrageous.
Yes, I think it is very, it is unexplainable why we don't find these molecules, these atoms of nitrogen and phosphorus. And I'll show the next images. We only see carbon, oxygen, and silicon, and a small quantity of titanium.
So titanium is another metal, and in other research studies, the same thing happened, that many different metals were found, but again, no nitrogen, no phosphorus, meaning there was no mRNA in the vials. So this is very important. Again, a hint towards this whole nanotechnology aspect, because silicone is part of the nanotechnology that was, for example, evaluated through Morgellons, and it was a polyethylene with silicone in it.
Yes, and I heard that there are quantum dots with silicon, and I know that quantum dots are used in medicine, have application in medicine. This is another image with composition, and we found yttrium. Yttrium is a rare element used in electronics. It's rare and is used in electronics. Yeah, it is another suspicious element.
Yes,
which,
and what's interesting also about the nickel is also found in electronics, and I have seen it more and more in humans because I do ejaculation and I pull out heavy metals out of people, and the nickel levels have also increased. So, but there's also applications of nickel in, for example, technological battery like semiconductor machines.
Yes, but here the peak of nickel is from support grid support.
Got it. So it's not really part of the contents.
Yes.
Okay.
But this yttrium is suspect. Here is another image from Comirnaty Omicron. It's a monoplan structure. I think it can be suggestive of graphene.
Well, it definitely looks like what we've also seen. And, you know, one of the things is, so graphene is definitely something monatomic carbon, but can also show up as a C60 molecule. But the interesting thing is that hydrogels, they can be carbon-based polymers. So it's challenging to see whether or not this is more of a hydrogel or a graphene aspect, but I think is very, very interesting because the similar structures we see in the human blood.
Yes, and the composition of this structure is carbon, oxygen, and silicon.
Very interesting.
Another image with we found here carbon, oxygen, and again yttrium. Other images with carbon, oxygen, and silicon. Again, silicon, carbon, oxygen, magnesium in this structure. And the next vaccine, so-called vaccine analyzed was Moderna. And we see the composition of this product, experimental product. And we should find here also nitrogen and phosphorus. But as we see, we found oxygen, silicon, and carbon, magnesium, a lot of silicon we see.
It's a lot of silicon, yes, exactly. And that reminds me of the brain chip analysis for certain that you can create nanoelectronics out of silicon. And Morgellons is considered a silicon-based, silicon and carbon-based artificial life form.
And it is not reported in the leaflet of this product, the silicon. Why didn't they report this component?
Yes, especially if it has such a high composition. I mean, 28.9%, that's pretty significant, and it's undisclosed.
Yes, in these structures, there is a lot of silicon. Okay. Again, a lot of silicon in this structure.
So these structures look exactly like the stuff that we see in the blood, it's just smaller, but ultimately what I've seen is that from the small comes the large. And now to know really, okay, this is the same chemical composition, silicon, carbon, and oxygen, or some magnesium. I mean, that's very, very telling here.
Yes. Here is a little bit of magnesium, and again silicon. So we can see that a lot of structures in a lot of area in this vial were analyzed, and we found the same situation. No nitrogen, no phosphorus, and silicon, magnesium, stanium. Here is stanium atom. Again, stanium. Titanium in Moderna vaccine.
And aluminum I see there. So this is very
Yes.
consistent with also the German work group that has found similar. There's definitely consistency here in regards to different teams around the world who found similar results.
Yes. I want some explanation for these elements which appear here. Here is a study of Dr. Nagas, who also didn't find RNA in these vials. Here is another study in Spain of Pablo Campra, and he found graphene in these vaccines. Steve Kirsch also reported on his Substack that there is no mRNA in these vials, but he didn't understand why there are so many adverse reactions. I think because of this nanotechnology.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what it self-assembles to. I mean, what we've seen in the blood is outrageous.
Here are the result of German working group, and they found a lot of elements of metals and also silicon in these vials. They found also titanium, aluminium. Yes. We know that there is no homogeneity of these products, but what was the chance not to find in any of these in Comirnaty Omicron and Moderna nitrogen and phosphorus?
Absolutely. And this is what I've been talking so much on every show on, because so many people and freedom doctors there are speaking ongoingly about the mRNA and then the spike protein. So if there's no mRNA and there's no reverse transcription, then there's no spike protein. We do know that the 2020 NIH website Francis Collins wrote that a quantum dot nanocrystal can create an antibody response as if there was a virus. We know that no virus has been isolated. And so I believe that this is a technological weapon that has been deployed. And here's another round of absolute evidence that, there is no mRNA. That Sasha Latypova clearly said that if you have these large batches, even the data from the European Medicine Agency shows, there's truncated RNA or fragmented RNA in some vials, but that you cannot create in such large manufacturing production the mRNA like this. And now in the United States, we have Dr. Kernighan, who found the SV40. And then we had another North Carolina professor who found 200 billion copies of DNA, so all kinds of different contamination. But I think the very important consistency here is the building blocks of nanotechnology.
Yes, it is hard to believe that the lie is so big. It is hard for me to believe, but I have these results, and they say everything. And we know that some batches of Moderna vaccine were returned by a Japanese government because of the particles, metal particles in these vials.
And what is important real quick about this is that the nanopathologist Antonetta Gatti had looked at 44 different childhood vaccines, all of which had undisclosed metal particles, including stainless steel, including titanium, aluminum, barium. And so if you find it in every single vaccine around the world, regardless of the manufacturer, you cannot say this is an error, but you can say that this has been an ongoing sickening of the population by contaminating them with nanoparticulate, heavy toxic metals. That's a great concern.
Yes, it is very difficult to accept that. I don't know what to say. It was all planned. I don't know. But yes, we see a lot of evidence now, and we have to get answers for all this question. And
this is where I think it is so wonderful to have a colleague like you who is speaking about this, because the majority of the doctors, they don't want to broach the subject or even discuss the nanotechnology. But I agree, as scientists, we have to get answers for these findings that are consistent around the world.
Yes, I think doctors are not aware about this nanotechnology. It is a science at the border, a border science.
I think they don't want to be aware, as far as I'm concerned. I do think that many of them know, and they have chosen to continue to ignore the problem. And I think that's a grave disservice to humanity. At this point, I am certain that they know.
Yes, I think we as a doctor, we have to read a lot, to research, and it's our duty to protect our patients, our children, our society. Yes, and I talked about nanotechnology, and some people call me conspirational, but yes, we see these articles in Science, Nature, that they say that there is nanotechnologies in these RNA vaccines.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. The denial is so childish. And by the very nature of the size of the product, it is nano size, it's nanotechnology.
Yeah. That's why I also put these links, this bibliography, to have arguments, to have proofs for what I'm saying. We see that this nanotechnology is studied for a long time. They say about the progress in the development of nanotechnology since 24 in European Union documents.
Absolutely. And really, since the 1970s, nanotechnology has been developed.
And there are a lot of money used in this branch of science. We see here billions of euro. This nanotechnology is very advanced. They talked about nanostructures that allow transport across biological barriers, remote control of nanoprobes, integrated implantable sensory nanoelectronic systems, and multifunctional chemical structures for drug delivery and targeting of disease. They say these things since 26, and these are official documents.
Yes.
And here we see how this nanotechnology progressed in time. Here are a lot of types of nanotechnology, nanoparticles. We see here dendrimer, quantum dots, perfluorocarbon particles, and a lot of types, therapeutic fullerenes.
And this is where really, what I've been seeing in the blood, these nanobio robots and micro robots that are clearly attacking the cells, that are bidirectional biosensors that are sending information. So I think it's absolutely, I can see this in the blood, and it's been going on for a long time.
Yes, I also saw these particles in Moderna. And they moved for 15 hours in under the microscope. Here it is an article about self-assembling nanotechnology, and they say this is a key factor in nanotechnology. It's an article since 2019. But there are researchers that say about toxicological aspects of this nanotechnology. And they recognize that this nanotechnology is used in many products, in cosmetic, in medicines, drugs, I think also in food. And these particles can accumulate in tissue or organs. They can trigger prion disease. And the accepted toxicological methods are not sufficient to detect possible damaging effects of these nanoparticles.
And there's many articles that also show exactly the tumor formation. So we have exploding tumors. People say, okay, it's the mRNA that's causing, the death and the exploding cancers, but the nanotechnology itself can certainly do this. And the smaller the size, for example, nano aluminum is many times more toxic than microaluminum. So the nanoscale is very, very dangerous.
Yes, they can affect the DNA because they are so small. There are articles about the risky biological effects of these nanoparticles. They can trigger inflammatory responses, cellular toxicity. There are a lot of questions about the distribution and the clearance from the body. So they have also, they can have also gain of function because they talked about this gain of function studies. Maybe they did on these nanoparticles gain on function studies.
Absolutely. And I think in regards to, the metals in the body, it is well known, that they bioaccumulate and they become more and more toxic the more you have. For example, lead has a half-life of 30 years. Mercury accumulates in the brain. And so all of these injections filled with these metals, plus the stuff that we're inhaling, is very, very bioaccumulative and cause chronic diseases.
Yes, because I'm a gynecologist, we know that endometriosis, we have a lot of endometriosis, and we don't know the cause of this disease. It may be these nanoparticles. Now I can establish a link with these nanoparticles. They can do inflammation. They can cause inflammation. It may be.
And like Antoinetta Gatti showed in leukemia, the presence of nanoparticles, and she was clearly warning, even in childhood cancers, that the nanoparticles are associated with the production of cancers and many, many chronic diseases. Absolutely.
Here is an article about nanoparticles and prionic disease. They can cause this prionic disease. And we know that Professor Montagnier reported a few cases of this prionic disease. And if we search about the legal situation with this nanotechnology, we found something very interesting, that there is no legislation on nanomedicine, not only in European Union, but I think globally.
That's right.
And, there is not a legal definition of this nanomedicine.
But now nanomedicine and nanotechnology is in every aspect of medicine. It's in agriculture. The budget of the president for 2023 was like billions of dollars, showing that it's in the energy sector everywhere, but there's no regulation. This is unbelievable.
Exactly. And I think here we can act because they injected into the people this nanotechnology, and they have no regulation for the use of this nanotechnology. They don't even have an universal accepted definition for this. It's unbelievable.
It is.
So this I put here a lot of articles about these regulatory aspects. Here, a member of European Parliament, Peter Vitanov, talked about this problem, and he recognized that these innovative mRNA vaccines contain nanoparticles, and this nanotechnology requires highly standardized and complex manufacturing processes that can guarantee consistent quality, clinical effectiveness, and safety. So changes in quality, size distribution, surface properties, drug loading, and release profiles, aggregation status, and stability can alter how nanomedicine acts within the body, with a significant impact on the patient safety and the efficacy.
So this is exactly the point. You know, there are all of these people who've analyzed the vials and they find different things all the time. There is no standardization. It's all over the place, and it has elements that are not even reported to be in there, like silicone, you know, or titanium or yttrium. So there is absolutely no standard here, and this is considered a medication. It's a bioweapon.
Yes. And we also found a lot of adverse reaction, and this can be explained by the behavior of these nanoparticles. We don't know a lot about the biodisponibility of these particles, about the safety. They did not make studies about the genotoxicity and carcinogenicity. I read this in EMA documents.
Yes, there was absolute no adherence to clinical standard guidelines and evaluation. So they've released the product on the market that was not evaluated.
Yes, and this member of the parliament calls for the development of a scientific consensus of definition of nanomedicine in Europe. He advocates adopting an EMA centralized procedure for all nanomedicines and the nanosimilars, which would ensure greater scrutiny on these complex products. Yes, it's important to have a definition, to know how to check these products, but they don't have. There are a lot of articles on this problem. They raise the problem of an action of this nanotechnology on genotoxicity and genetic mutation.
Which could kill people, which what it said there. Yes, that's right, absolutely.
And there were some questions for European Parliament about the graphene content in these vials, but they didn't recognize the existence of this component. And these are about regulation in this branch of nanotechnology, but we also have to have a larger view, and we know what Klaus Schwab said about the fourth industrial revolution and the Great Reset, and he talked about chips in the brain since 2015, and here I put some articles about Internet of Bodies. These things were researched since we see here 2011. There are articles since 2011 about this issue.
And what it's really saying is, we found that the injected people are emitting roaming MAC addresses, and people were saying, oh, we're crazy, but even the group from Ecuador, Comusav, showed that even out of the grave, they are still emitting. And the issue really is, what is an intrabody area network? Is that these biosensors have been in human bodies for a long time, and that they're basically monitoring people from the inside and then sending that information to the internet, to the cloud. And ultimately, the idea is to create this digital twin in the metaverse. And this is already happening. And yet, while it is happening, it has been going on for, over a decade and more. The doctors are completely denying that there's any nanotechnology, that we find microchips, that we find quantum dots, and all of that. And it's like, well, it's been in the scientific literature forever, so the cognitive dissonance and the unwillingness to actually read about what's been available forever is very, very important to understand.
Yes, this year it was a Nobel Prize for chemistry in quantum dots technology. It is a technology from 40 years. It is studied from about 40 years. We cannot deny these are articles about these problems, this research. We also have this declaration of Klaus Schwab about the fourth industrial revolution. That means nanotechnology, brain research, mobile networks, 3D printing, and 3D printing, and it's a very dystopic future, and it is important to know what they want to do with our world. We have to defend our world. We have to remain humans. We want to remain humans. We do not want the future as Klaus Schwab vision.
Absolutely. And I also think, for example, here, the smart depths, that arrays of full computers with antenna, each much smaller than a grain of sand, can now organize in the human body. That's exactly what we've been seeing. And literally, me and my colleagues, we have been warning about an extinction level event here, because basically this is the last generation of humans, because this stuff is already in us and it's working silently. It's killing people. It's transforming them without their knowing. And so this is just more evidence of what we've been saying all along. And it's just, at some point, people's denial needs to just break apart, and they need to take a look at what's been going on for a long time.
Yes, it is a battle at nano level. Yeah. And here are some proofs of their vision, and they put this vision on Graphene Flagship. Is a website, a new European Union website, and they see the people of the future, the human of the future, with brain-machine interface and the nanosensors in the body.
But what people need to understand, this is now, this isn't in the future, and it's very important.
Yes, here is an article since 2020, and we can search on this website. It's very interesting, with a lot of nanoscience in it. They talk about optogenetic and other things, very advanced, yes. Here is a patent about cryptocurrency system using body activity data. And yes.
And this is this patents, 666 obviously has some relationship to the mark of the beast, but the whole idea of absolute world control via the digital ID that is now being implemented everywhere. And so the infrastructure of the bio nanosensors we already have in the body, we've been proving that, and that now this push for the digital ID and that the vaccination status is really in the center of this. This is already happening now.
Yes, they want to have these codes in our body. Here is another patent used to monitorize people, to follow, to see where people are going, and their contacts, to establish a risk for contacting a disease. I'm sorry for my English. I also found a UN document about satellites in outer space, and we see that in 2018 there were about 500 satellites. In 2022 about 2,500 satellites, and in 2029 they want to be 1.8 million satellites.
That's amazing. For absolute total surveillance of the entire world population. It's just unbelievable.
Yes. Why do we need these satellites? They asked our permission for these satellites?
No.
No. We have no rights. I think we have no rights. And I will present some images, microscopic electron microscopy in for dental anesthetic, art dental. Here is the composition, and we found also silicon in this anesthetic.
Well, that's very, very significant, because we've been looking at the dental anesthetics, and they clearly are developing microchips, and we were looking for chemical composition analysis. This is fantastic that you did this.
Yes, here is also magnesium, but silicon is significant.
Absolutely, there shouldn't be significant. Or titanium in the dental anesthetics. Oh my God.
Chromium, yes, and a lot of silicon. So sulfur here, maybe it is from the molecular formula. But why silicon? Why titanium? And manganese. We also found here, we can see that the electron energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy can detect nitrogen. Here we can see nitrogen, but in Moderna and Comirnaty, we didn't find this component, this atom.
Yes, exactly. Same with phosphorus, right? So
Yes. So another image with a lot of silicon.
So the reason why the silicon just shows up all the time is, I've been speaking a lot about the correlation between morgellons, which are the filamental structures, that are sprayed via geoengineering now for 30, 40 years. And you've also done rain analysis on heavy metals, for example. So I think that the correlation that there is a relationship between the nanotechnology that we see here and the nanotechnology that was this polymer silicon-based artificial intelligent structures is definitely present. So it's very interesting analysis.
Yes, we know this silicon is used in nanotechnology, in electronics. Yes, here are other images, other findings with a lot of silicon, aluminum,
potassium, magnesium, iron, sulfur, chloride, titanium, and what is the last one? SN?
Indium, I think.
Indium, so very rare metal again, very unusual metal composition.
No, but it's 0.0. Yes, I think it's very, very a small quantity, a very small quantity.
Okay.
But yeah. And we also analyzed some so-called classic vaccines, anti-pneumococcal Prevenar vaccine. This is the composition.
Which I had also looked at, and there were many blinking lights and quantum dots. It's fantastic that you did this.
Yes, and we also found silicon, but not in so much quantities. We found phosphorus. We can see this electron microscopy can identify phosphorus, but in Moderna and Comirnaty we didn't find.
And aluminium. You found aluminium,
yes,
which is neurotoxic.
Yes, it is reported in their composition, but I wonder if the quantity of aluminum exceed the reported quantity in the leaflet, because it's a lot of aluminum. We can see here 9.6 aluminum. And here small quantity of silicon, phosphorus, aluminum, a lot of aluminum. I think in Romania, Romanian Agency for Drugs, for drug control, doesn't make an analysis of these vaccines. They consider they are safe and effective because they come from European Union, but we have no control of this product. Okay, these are other images with here is a lot of silicon. It is an area with a lot of silicon.
Wow.
And here is another vaccine, anti-hepatitis A vaccine. This is the composition, and we can see a lot of aluminum.
Silicone again.
Silicon, yes. Phosphorus.
Wow.
Yes. So this was my presentation. Yes, it was shocking also for me not finding these nitrogen and phosphorus atoms in COVID, anti-COVID so-called vaccines. This silicon, I don't, yes, I think I, I think I am a conspirational. Yes,
A conspiracy
conspiratorial.
theory? I don't think so.
Yes.
Go ahead and stop sharing for now. And
Yeah.
this is fantastic. I had no idea that you also looked at the dental anesthetic and the other vaccines. I mean, you just advanced our knowledge so much, which is fantastic. And you know, the other thing that would be great to get is a gas chromatography and really look at all the other chemical compounds and the polymer plastics that could be potentially seen. So, but this is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. You know, for your work and for sharing it. I think it's very important, and people need to look at, you know, why is silicone, which is part of semiconducting material and nanotechnology and all of these shots, why is it in the dental anesthetics? You know, when we find the same microchip development that we've seen in the Moderna and the Pfizer shots in all of the anesthetics, unfortunately, around the world, they're loaded with this stuff. So this really, you know, needs to come to the forefront of world news, of the world scientific community. And I mean, I'm certainly calling for reevaluation of all of these pharmaceutical products. They need to be recalled and investigated for safety and further analyzed. And but until then, there should be not another shot in someone's arm. And I think that the dental industry is in big trouble, because clearly this stuff is in dental anesthetics, and it's not safe to go to the dentist. And you know, the fact that I found this stuff in insulin even is horrifying.
Yes, and we have to act on this aspect of regulatory on nanotechnology and nanomedicine. They use this technology for a long time without a definition, a clear definition, without regulatory, without rules. It is not acceptable.
They've used it without rules. And then we as clinicians, we also have worldwide the responsibility for informed consent, to adhere to the Hippocratic Oath of doing no harm. If you now know, as a clinician and doctor or pharmacist, that these have potentially harmful substances in it, and we've proven and shown it to you, and you continue giving these shots, these are true crimes against humanity that these clinicians are participating in. You cannot claim that you no longer know, when this has been, you know, around in the news, and we've been showing this consistently with teams around the world for so long now.
Yes, and I accept that there are variation in these batches of vaccines, but why maybe some contain RNA or some not containing RNA, but why silicon in these vials? And what is the chance not to find RNA in both, not in Moderna, not in Comirnaty Omicron vaccine? How it is possible? No, I have a big question, and I hope that people that want to find the truth to collaborate together to find the truth, because we want the truth for us, for our children, for our world.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much. You're a hero to humanity. I'm so grateful that I found you, my dear colleague, and thank you for your courage. You know, and that both of us, we were talking about, we're under investigation by our medical boards, but that we stand on the side of truth, and our service is to humanity. And as long as we are incorruptible, and that God will protect us, and hopefully protect humanity. Thank you so much, and I hope we will speak soon.
I also thank you. You are a great person. I thank you very much, and I'm very happy that I meet you. Yes.
Thank you. And do you publish your stuff in English somewhere? What can people find you? I know it's on Facebook. It's a miracle that it's on Facebook.
Yes, I think they have suspicious on these vials too, because my post they didn't disappear. But yeah,
that's a miracle.
Yes, they are there. And yes, I'll write an article about this, and I'll see. Maybe I will do a Telegram channel.
Wonderful, wonderful. Or come to Substack. It's fun out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.